Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today I'll be introducing the book of Exodus, and we do have a playlist on the introduction of the book of the Bible. And we have the first one, the book of Genesis. If you try to see the link below, you will find the link for the introduction of the book of Genesis. Now, if you're new to this channel and you're interested to support us to spread the good news of the Bible and the Bible reading experience throughout the world, I would like to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and comments and interact with us as we go along in our journey. So let's try to introduce the book, the second book of the Bible. It is the book of Exodus. Now, the first thing that I would like to discuss on introducing the book of Exodus is that the canonical placement and literary structure of the book. Now, it is the second book of the the Hebrew Bible Tanakh. At the same time, also it is also the second book also of the Christian Old Testament, after continuing continuing the story of in the from the book of Genesis. Now, this book is popularly known as the book written by Moses himself. Now, the structure of the book of Exodus is divided into three parts, wherein the first to the 15th chapter talks about Israelites' enslavement and miraculous deliverance from Egypt. The second major part is that in chapter 16 to chapter 24, it tells about the journey to Sinai and the giving of the covenant. And the last section of the book of Exodus is found in chapter 25 to chapter 40, which talks about the tabernacle instruction and construction, being the God dwelling place among his people. So again, the book of Exodus is structured into three major parts, wherein the chapter 1 to chapter 15 talks about the deliverance, the enslavement, and the miraculous deliverance of the people of God, the Israelites, out from Egypt. And then chapter 16 verse 2 and then to chapter 24, it tells about the journey to Sinai and the giving of the covenant. And of course, the third of the major sections of the book of Exodus is from chapter 25 to 40, which talks about the tabernacle instructions and constructions, making it as the God dwelling place among his people. Now, the literary movement from oppression to liberation to divine presence mirrors the theological arc of the entire Hebrew Bible. Take note of this, and this one, this literary movement, started right there in the book of Exodus. Now, the second thing that I would like to introduce to you concerning the book of Exodus is the historical and the archaeological context. Now, while the historicity of the Exodus event remains a topic of scholarly debate, the narrative reflects authentic ancient Near Eastern socio-political dynamics, including the themes of imperial power, forced labor, and covenantal law. Egypt serves as the backdrop of both bondage and revelation, portraying Pharaoh as the antitype of the divine authority. Now, archaeologically, direct evidence for the Exodus as a historical event is scant, yet scholars such as like William Dever and Kenneth Kitchen argue that the narrative may preserve historical memory rooted in the experiences of Semitic peoples living in Egypt during the second millennium. Now, the third thing that I would like to introduce is the theological themes. Exodus introduces several theological cornerstones of the Judeo-Christian thought. The Yud-He-Waw-He as a deliverer, or Yahweh, or the Adonai as a deliverer, states that God is revealed as a liberating presence who hears the cries of the oppressed. Exodus chapter 3 verse 7 to 8. Secondly, there is a thought of covenantal identity. Israel is constituted as a nation through the Mosaic covenant, receiving divine law as a form of ethical identity. The third one is the presence and worship. The tabernacle signifies God's desire to dwell with humanity, foreshadowing both temple theology and in Christian thought and the incarnation. So, as theological Brevard Childs note, as a theologian, Brevard Childs note, Exodus is not merely history remembered, but a theology narrative, a theological drama that reveals the character of God and the identity of His people. Now, the fourth thing that I'd like to introduce about the book of Exodus is that Exodus in Jewish and Christian tradition. Now, for Judaism, Exodus is central to the identity of the people of Israel enshrined in the annual observance of the Passover, or we call it Pesach. For Christianity, Exodus provides a typological foreshadowing of salvation. The Passover lamb, the Red Sea crossing, and the law on Sinai become symbols reinterpreted through the lens of Christ. In liberation theology, particularly in Global South, Exodus has become foundational text for social justice, offering a divine mandate for resistance against oppression. Now, the fifth thing that I would like to introduce is that why study Exodus today? To study Exodus is to engage a foundational narrative of faith, freedom, and formation. It invites us to ask enduring questions such as, what does it mean to be free? How does God respond to systematic injustice? What is the nature of divine law and covenant? Now, in a world still marred by modern pharaohs, systems of exploitation, marginalization, and idolatry, the book of Exodus continues to speak with prophetic power. So to conclude, whether you are a theologian, a seeker, a scholar, or a servant of the word, Exodus is not just a book of the past. It is a call to liberation in the present time. Guys, I hope you read the book of Exodus, and I hope you start reading the Bible now. And hopefully, see you again next time by liking, subscribe, sharing, giving comments, and supporting our channel. In that way, we can spread more the word, the Bible, to the entire world in these postmodern times and in the 21st century. Again, this is the Bible Reading Project. Have a good day and a blessed day to all.